estamos aquí en un evento que los quiero traer. ¡Ay! Hay mucho ruido allá. Pero nos van a dar un tour.
If you have roses or carnations, I recommend not going all the way to this part because it might break.
Aloha, mexicana viviendo en Hawái. Mi bella gente, muchas gracias a todos esos que se están suscribiendo, le están dando like para que este canal de Mexicana en Hawái siga creciendo. Y aquí les voy a presentar a Kuhi. Ella es Kuhi, es una bella hawaiana originaria de aquí de las islas de Oahu. Una de las mejores maestras en hacer las coronas hawaianas, llamadas como coronas leipu. Sí, yo siempre digo coronas hawaianas porque se identifica más en nuestro idioma de español, porque al decirles el leipu, pues van a decir ¿qué es eso? Yo antes pensaba que era collares, pero no, son el nombre real de las coronas hawaianas. Estos cursos se dan cada mes en el Palacio de la Reina Queen Emma. Sí, aparte de hacer un curso de coronas, aquí con Kuhi nos dan la oportunidad de explorar este bello lugar que yo quedé enamorada. Con solo $100 tú puedes tomar este curso y aparte conocer el Palacio de la Reina Emma. Ok, mi bella gente, vamos a ver, nos van a dar un tour aquí por creo que es allá, se ve bien bonito. Miren cuánto mango hay. Madre mía, hay mucho mango. Vengan al mango, vengan a los mangos, mira. Oh my God, este árbol está bendecido. Está lleno de mango. Madre mía. Si quieren, no sé. Miren qué bonito está aquí. Wow. So beautiful. Good morning. Hi. How are you? Al llegar a este evento te vas a encontrar con la decoración típica hawaiana. Me encantaron los manteles y vénganse conmigo que se va a poner súper interesante este curso. Los que quieran saber más sobre este curso, escríbanme y yo les doy toda la información, dónde puedes hacer los pagos y la dirección. Emocionada, estoy súper emocionada porque pues siempre había querido tomar este curso con ella, pero nunca tenía el tiempo y hoy se me hizo y estoy contenta y feliz. Así que salí con un Master Degree en coronas hawaianas.
So, thank you everyone for coming. My name is Kuhi. Aloha, welcome.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, Kuhi.
Hi, Penny. We have Penny.
Soy es Kuhi, es muy buena para las coronas. Yo la sigo por muchos. Tengo ya 7 años aquí.
Good morning, Penny. This is Penny, everyone.
Hi, Penny. Penny.
So if you, why don't we go around and...
Nos vamos a presentar.
Hi, I'm
I'm Tiffany. She's my little sister. We're from here. So exciting.
morning, everyone. I'm Lee.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Wendy. I'm from here too.
I'm her friend Liz. I'm from Lafayette, California. I'm going next Saturday to the event.
Oh, perfect. Oh, you guys are going to have a good time.
I'm Ruth. I live here, Mililani.
So I'm from Mililani as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mililani.
I grew up in a small little town called Mililani. So
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
it is. And so I started lei po'o making when I was little. I don't know if any of you heard of the Hawaii Nature Center. It's up in Makiki. But my mom always wanted us to be in touch with our culture, so she would get us involved in a lot of cultural events, either on the weekend or during breaks and things. And so that's where I found my passion there when I was about 7 years old. But times have changed. I learned on a banana stump, and now I've changed it up to I have a little base for us because it makes it a lot easier on your hands and just holding it together. But I do recommend that if you are going to leave it at a grave or you're going to dispose of it in the ocean, not to use that. I recommend using natural products. You're more than welcome to just use raffia if you want, and that you could use as your base. And usually with that, I'll braid it and then use one raffia as to wrap with. So this morning we're going to be making lepo'os. Everyone asked me, and I'm going to let you know, because some people, the one question they ask me is, what's the difference between a lepo'o and a haku? So I let them know that lepo'o is actually the proper way of saying it. It's the le for your head in Hawaiian. Po'o is your head. And the reason why we adorn our head is because that's where all our knowledge comes from. The difference between lepo'o and haku, so like I said, po'o is our head, and this is where all our knowledge comes from, and that's why we want to adorn that. And so haku is actually a style of making a lei. So there's different styles of lei making, which would be, our famous one would be kuhi, which is the leis that you see around your neck, where they string it with a lei needle and string. And haku is when you braid a lei together, or I would be considered a haku maker, a weaver. And so that's the difference between haku and lepo'o. Everyone kind of gets confused. They call it a haku, but I always try to correct them that it's actually a lepo'o. So that's our one little. The first part of lepo'o making, I always let everyone know, is to gather. And so I love our island and all our resources. The Hawaiians were very resourceful in everything. And so I like to go out into nature and gather, whether it be up in the mountain or by the ocean. So certain things thrive better in the ocean where they need the seawater, and then there's some that need the high elevation. And so some here that we received. Hi, Sheila. Everyone, this is Sheila.
Nice to meet you.
Sorry. No, you're fine. Some people got lost. There's native plants, native Hawaiian plants, and one thing about the native plants, there's multiple purposes for them other than just rainmaking, whether it be medicinal, or most of it is medicinal. And so here we have some liko. I'm not too sure if everyone knows of the ohia tree. There's a disease that's killing it, but it's more in the trunk of the tree and not the flower. So I like to use the leaf of it just because it's really pretty. So this here I gathered up in the mountain, and then we have some moa. I'm not too sure if some of you saw this before, but they used to play a game with it back in the day. They didn't have much things, but they made use of everything that they had, and they also used this as a form of medicine as well. We have a kia, which the fishermen or lavaya would use. They would mash it up and put it in the water. It would make the fish dizzy, so easier to catch. We have some Pele's hair, or some people call it hina hina. It's really not native. Some people think it is, but there is a hina hina that is native, which comes by the ocean side. And so if you saw the flyer from the workshop, there's a lake on there, and that's hina hina. We have some a'ali'i, which is very special. This is one of my favorites. This usually you find up in the mountain. It's hard to find on Oahu, but on the Big Island it's very abundant. And so we were lucky to get some of this. And the reason why I like to gather this is because it has multiple purposes. It's medicinal, as well as a lot of the Hawaiians would refer back to themselves as being like this plant, where it's resilient and strong and can go through all kinds of weathers and whatnot and fires and still last. And so because we're all wahine and women, we're all resilient and strong, and so I wanted to bring this a part of our workshop today. And then I also have some palapalapalai fern that I picked straight from our garden before you guys came. And so I like to have a little bit of the palace. If I'm here, I like to gather something from here just so that we have that in our lei. And so this here is called ule. It's a fern that you find up usually in the mountainside. Very rare to find at low elevations unless it's in someone's yard. This plant here they would use to make fishing nets and spears. And nowadays I've noticed people making hairpins with it. Yeah. And then of course we have roses, carnations, and some statice, some leather leaf fern, and some baby's breath. So I just wanted to mix a little bit of native and the western just so that if you don't have availability to go and gather somewhere out, you're more than welcome to go to the store and make a beautiful lei as well. And so one thing about lei making I let everyone know is that when we make lei, when we go to gather, I always tell them that protocol for me is to say a prayer before you enter wherever you're going, even if it's someone's yard, because someone still put in time and love into those plants. And so we just want to ask for permission to enter, and then once you leave, you say your mahalos or your thank yous for what was provided for you at that time. And then once you're done doing all of that, then we do our prepping. And I like to prep everything ahead of time just because it's easier that way. It's very important to come with a good heart and good intentions and put all your aloha and positivity into what you're doing, because it truly shows in your lei, and that's what you're going to give someone. And so if maybe you're not feeling so well or you're upset about something, then maybe it's not time to make lei, and maybe take a break and then try to start when you feel a little better. Just like when we go into the taro patch or the lo'i, everyone always says to come with good vibes, positivity, and aloha, and because that's what you're going to put into the food and that's what you're going to nurture people that's eating it. And same thing with lei making, that's what you're going to give or honor to someone. And so that's what you want to put all your love and aloha and mana into that. And so that's what we're all going to do today.
Ok, mi bella gente, para los que no entienden inglés, que están igual que yo, Spanglish, voy a introducir un poquito lo que Kuhi se presentó, dijo su historia, su pasión. Esta pasión por hacer coronas la tiene desde los 7 años, su mami se la inculcó, y de ahí para acá ella es una master degree. Ella nos da una historia de, o sea, conoce cada flor, su nombre. Hay una que me encantó, que aquí ella dijo que se daba solamente en la Bee Island. Es la otra isla, la isla más grande pero menos poblada, que es la Bee Island, donde está el volcán. Y yo siempre la sigo en su Instagram y siempre ella anda haciendo sus cursos de enseñando las coronas para el turismo. Es súper famosa, va a muchos eventos, a hoteles. Yo la sigo en Instagram, así que conozco mucho de su profesión. Y yo he visto muchas personas que hacen coronas. Aquí en la isla Oahu se dedica mucha gente a venderlas a $150 para eventos de boda, para aniversario. Aquí hay muchas personas que hacen coronas preciosas y mis respetos, pero Kuhi para mí es la mejor y por eso la estoy promocionando, porque quiero que mi gente latina que viene a esta isla Oahu, a mis militares que se establecen aquí por 3 años, tomen este curso, les va a encantar, es maravilloso. Y no se van a arrepentir. Van a decir, ay, $100 es muy caro. Pero te deja una gran leyenda, una cultura, puedes hacer coronas para eventos. Uno no sabe. Miren, yo me perfeccioné y sigo perfeccionándome. ¿Por qué? Porque puedes hacer hasta negocios en tus países o muchas cosas. Aquí Kuhi nos está dando la oportunidad de abrirnos paso en el mercado de Hawái. Para los que estén interesados en tomar este curso con Kuhi, les voy a dejar su página de Instagram. Ahí pueden pedirle información. Ya les dejé aquí, es cada mes estaban haciéndolo, y ella en Instagram siempre anuncia sus eventos. Síguenla. Yo voy a dejar su link abajo de la caja de información de este video y no se van a arrepentir. Es una de las mejores. Kuhi transmite mucha paz, esa voz tan dulce que tiene, sales tan relajada de ese curso, tiene una dulzura, es algo que yo le admiro a Kuhi. O sea, muy pocas personas con esa vibra tan hermosa que tiene Kuhi, muy pocas aquí en Hawái. O sea, yo estoy bendecida de conocer gente tan maravillosa, realmente hawaiana, y poder introducirlos a mi país, México, como una maestra en los mejores de Isla Oahu. Suscríbanse, denle like y nos vemos en el siguiente video. Vamos a poner cómo fue el evento. Ahí van a ver todo tipo de corona que hicimos cada persona que estuvimos en ese evento. Bendiciones y que tengan un excelente día.